All Things Unexplained.
So part one tonight or category one tonight under part one, moon landing never happened. It was a hoax, is Psy-Ops. Listener Trent Leonard said, oh, by the way, first he said, and we're going to get our listener comments in here. Did someone use the F word? No, not that one. Fact.
Yeah, that was probably a slip of the tongue. Shouldn't have said facts, but historical information.
Well, but I like that comment, though, because you know what? Tonight's episode is mixed with a lot of fact. So some of this information we're going to talk about tonight is fact. It's indisputable, and it's those facts that make this all so hard to decipher, right? He also said, FYI, don't forget the impact of Sputnik going around to the dark side of the moon as juicing the space race. So true. And
Yes.
this plays, I'm glad that ties right into a category one, Psy-Ops. You know, we were in the Cold War, like Smitty talked about too, with Russia. And Sputnik, Russia got Sputnik out there first. And of course, we've talked about this on the show before, this notion of MAD, mutually assured destruction, right? So we both knew, America and Russia, that, hey, we have so many bombs, we can each destroy the entire world. As a matter of fact, we developed a hydrogen bomb in 1952, much more powerful than anything we dropped on Japan. And shortly thereafter, Russia developed a hydrogen bomb. So the Cold War and this notion of mutually assured destruction really kicked into high gear after that. And so this is where the Psy-Ops comes in, you know. People needed to know that we were technologically more advanced than Russia. Russia got Sputnik up there, just like our longtime listener Trent Leonard said. And so we did indeed have, motivation to at least fake a moon landing from a Psy-Ops point of view. And, we didn't go at war directly with Russia in the Cold War. It was more like, we had all these proxy wars, and we also had Vietnam mixed in there. Is it possible that we faked the moon landing to distract from the disastrous Vietnam War? We'll see what we think. In addition,
All right. Is this where we give our ratings?
No, not yet. We have a couple more Psy-Ops things here. So,
we're going to keep going. Okay.
Well,
got it.
So let's talk a little bit more about the facts. So the CIA definitely wasn't beyond using Psy-Ops. There's a theory that Wind of Change by the Scorpions was written to create the fall of the Berlin Wall. We've had lots of other Psy-Ops programs from the CIA or the other entities, including, funding a prominent author program at major colleges in America. And we have used Psy-Ops manipulation against Russia before, including Star Wars in the 80s. And of course, it became apparent, like we actually admitted that, sometime after Star Wars, after we shot down an ICBM, that we actually had homing devices in the missile and in what shot it down. So it was definitely faked just to scare the Russian government. So we faked the moon landing for Psy-Ops. Smitty, what do you think?
On whether or not that's true, on my rating on whether or not that's true about the fake
1 to
of
10 aliens.
I see one alien.
So Smitty gives
Oh.
that's interesting because Smitty's our history expert. One alien there. I'm surprised, Smitty, knowing what you know about America's dealings in Psy-Ops, that you only give that a one alien plausibility.
I just believe the moon landing was true. I believe we were there, and I don't really see a heck of a lot other why we would really hide that. Of course, I'm sure I'm in the vast minority of listeners on this show.
Well, you're not. You're not in the vast minority. The 20% of Americans believe that we never landed on the moon. So you're in the majority there.
I
have
just
to
meant of our
say,
listeners.
Oh, well, I don't know. I think we have a range of listeners in their beliefs. But I will say that growing up, I was a very good student. And what made me a good student was that I listened to the information that was given and I believed it and I remembered it. And so I never even considered that we didn't land on the moon because I was told that we landed on the moon and Neil Armstrong was a hero. And we learned about all of these people growing up. And it wasn't until I met Tim 10 years ago that Tim said something about us not landing on the moon. And I thought he was a quack. I mean, I just couldn't believe he would even say such
I've heard worse.
garbage. And then the more that I started researching it and the more I started listening to things and the more I have grown as a person, the more I have learned. I think the government could have faked the moon landing for this? Absolutely. Do I think they did? I don't know. So I guess I need to fall somewhere in the middle. I'm going to lean higher. I'm going to say 6.
6 aliens from CJ that we did use Psy-Ops to fake the moon landing. And you know what? I mean, America has such a history of Psy-Ops operations, and many of which we've covered on this show. And some of the Psy-Ops operations have definitively happened, by the way, including remote viewing, are far more outlandish than hoaxing the moon landing. So I'm going to go the possibility Psy-Ops had something to do with the moon landing as 7. 7 aliens for me.
All things unexplained.